What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And the Phillies, they've played 2 games so far in this series against the Athletics. They already won the first 2 games. They won the series. Game 1, spectacular. All the home runs you can ask for. Taijuan Walker, his best start of the season. Yeah, it's against the Athletics. And yeah, they're the Athletics. But I don't care. Taijuan Walker was fantastic last night. And today, didn't have to be as stressful as it did. The offense definitely was not the best, but your bullpen now, and every pitcher basically that you used was really good. Christopher Sanchez in the spot start, he probably would have gone deeper into the ball game if he didn't take that grounder back off of, his throwing hand. He managed to finish the inning, and good on him for doing that, basically getting out of that unscathed with a couple of guys on. So credit to him and big balls on him. Then Matt Strom, of course, came out of the bullpen. The first pitch he threw was a home run. But, he settled down. The rest of the bullpen did their work. Marte, Soto, Alvarado, Craig Kimbrell with no thanks of help. The goddamn Josh Harrison out there in right field dropping a line drive. The way he went up to play it was probably the worst possible thing I saw in the world. And I'm like thinking to myself, how the hell did Craig Kimbrell get out of that unscathed? I have no idea. He got out of it, and then you went into extras. The offense continued to struggle. You eventually scored, but then the A's scored. You scored again, and thank God for Vasquez and Hoffman. The guys where you don't have your back-end dudes available. Serafini Dominguez, he went on the IL, so he's going to be out for a little bit. I believe it's a 15-day IL. So you really don't have much in the back end. You lose a piece back there. You had to use those guys in the, technically the later innings of the ball game in the 7th, 8th, and the 9th if it was a normal game. But then you go into extras, and then you got to go with Vasquez for 2 innings, and then Hoffman to close the game out. Your pitching was really good today. Offensively, you could have been way better. But with the way the bats have been swinging it this week in Arizona, even against the Los Angeles Dodgers, and, yesterday, they were due for a dud. They definitely were. They still found a way to win. Extra innings. Bryce and Stott drives in a few runs. Kyle Schwarber with a go-ahead RBI single in the 13th. So that was nice to see. Well, actually, not the 13th, the 12th inning. The game felt way longer than the 12th. Felt like it would never end. Even with the pitch clock, we still go to as many extra innings as possible. But you already won the series. And that's the most important thing. And now you have the benefit, you have the chance to sweep out this bad Oakland Athletics team. And they have been showcasing you why they are bad, because they are not good. Offensively, yes, you should have scored way more runs today. Do you want to give credit to the Oakland Athletics pitching? No, the Phillies had a lot of hittable pitches in this ball game, and they just weren't able to get the hits in play. So there. Yesterday, all the home runs possible. Kyle Schwarber, first pitch, ambush, leadoff home run. Kyle Schwarber still doing his things in the outfield, and people still hate him in the leadoff spot. But this is June, and this is time for Kyle Schwarber to do his thing. And he continues to do his thing. JT with another home run, so he remains red hot. And Alec Boehm gets himself a nice 2-run how do you do. Drived in a couple of runs yesterday as well. Then you tacked on a little bit more in the 9th inning, and then Taijuan Walker was just flat out fantastic yesterday. Like I said, his best start in a Phillies uniform to date. Goes 8 strong innings. I believe he had 8 strikeouts in the ball game, 100 pitches exactly. He was really good, and it was really nice to see him go that deep into the ball game, especially when you were technically going to have a bullpen game today. Like I said, I wish Sanchez could have gone deeper into the game. They said his pitch limit was going to be unlimited. So there wasn't a worry there. It's just because they were probably being precautious because he took the ball back to his throwing hand. So that's probably the main reason why Sanchez wasn't able to go deeper into the game. He probably would have gone only to the 5th or the 6th or something like that. I doubt he would have gone deeper into the ball game that deep. I wasn't expecting that. Maybe 5th, 6th inning type of stuff. But, 4th inning, understandable. You're being precautious. And then you rely on the rest of the bullpen to get the job done. And for the most part, they did. For the most part, the bullpen did get the job done. Your pitching was the major reason why you were still able to win today's game. Why you were able to win the second game. Because if you look at this bullpen right here, yeah, Matt Strahm, definitely, I would say, coming back down to earth a little bit. His numbers in his past few games haven't been the best, but also to the fact that you're completely overusing him, and also from the fact that, when he's starting so many games at the beginning of the year, and then he finally slots back in to where he was originally supposed to be, and sometimes still being overused, I still think you're feeling the effects of that a little bit. So he goes an inning and 2/3, 2 hits allowed, a solo shot, 2 strikeouts on 24 pitches. Marte, he allows 2 hits. He got out of a jam that Strahm got him in. He got out of that situation. I believe that was in the 5th or the 6th inning. It was most likely the 6th inning. But then, to lead off the 7th, he allowed 2 hits in a row. Soto comes in, gets the job done there. Alvarado comes in, allows a 2-out hit, but no harm done there for Jose. Only 9 pitches in the 8th inning. Craig Kimbrell, like I said, no help from Josh Harrison out there in right field. He managed to somehow not allow the winning run. 1 hit allowed, 2 strikeouts, 25 pitches. Craig Kimbrell, ERA's dropping and dropping and dropping. He's becoming more reliable as the day goes on. Vasquez, he gets the win. 2 huge innings in extras. Yes, he did allow the game to get tied after the Phillies did take the lead. Unearned run, 1 hit. It was the only hit he allowed. He walked the guy 2 strikeouts on 22 pitches. Still, technically, it's 2 huge innings for you in the extras when you clearly really do not have that many guys left. Because Hoffman comes in for the 12th, and if this game went any deeper, the only pitcher you had left was Dylan Covey. Now let me, phrase it out there to you again. The only pitcher you had left, if this game went any deeper, was Dylan Covey in extra innings with the game on the line. I don't think I wanted to experience that. Thankfully, Hoffman didn't let me experience that because he got out of his line of work very easily. Only threw 6 pitches, 1 strikeout. He was good. He was really good. Looking at the offense from the past 2 games, Kyle Schwarber yesterday was 1 for 4 with the solo shot to lead off the game. Trey Turner 0 for 4. Nick Castellanos, who didn't play in today's game because he's dealing with a little bit of a stomach bug, so hopefully he gets better soon. Not sure if he's going to be in tomorrow's lineup, but just depending on how he feels. Yesterday he went 1 for 4. Bryce Harper went 2 for 4 yesterday. JT Realmuto with a solo shot goes 1 for 4. Alec Boehm yesterday with a 2-run shot and also an RBI. 2 for 4, but 3 RBI there. Josh Harrison 0 for 3. Edmundo Sosa 0 for 4. And Christian Pache back in the lineup yesterday. He goes 0 for 2. He made some big plays out there in the outfield too, helping Taijuan Walker out. Also drew a walk in yesterday's ballgame, so that's also nice to see. Looking at the lineup for today, Bryson Stott was huge. Shows you, and a lot of his, contributions were against lefties. He tied the ball game up in the 6th inning against the lefty. A little bit of an infield single, in a place where basically no man's land. Infield hit, everybody's safe against a left-hander. And then in extra innings, it wasn't the winning run, but it was a run to give the Phillies the lead until eventually the A's tied it again. It was a sacrifice fly against a left-handed pitcher. So Bryson Stott showcasing, again, that he could take it up there against lefties, because yesterday he wasn't in the lineup against the left-handed pitcher. And his splits between righties and lefties, he's better against lefties. Granted, it's a small sample size, but he's hitting above 300 against lefties, so he's doing something right there in the batter's box. So Bryson Stott should be playing against left-handed pitching. I'm not sure why Rob decided to get him out of there. If you wanted to, put the excuse you're going up against the Oakland Athletics, and at the time, they're not a good team, get some time for Josh Harrison, Christian Pache, all that stuff. Yeah, I want to see Stott more, though. I want to see Stott more against lefties. But away from that, to the lineup for today, Kyle Schwarber 1 for 5 with the go-ahead RBI single in the 12th. Trey Turner was 1 for 5. He also almost had a home run in this game that just died right at the warning track. I believe it was around the 8th inning or something like that. I was wishing that would have went out of the ballpark. Alec Boehm 1 for 6. He almost had a home run in this ballgame too. Went just foul. Bryce Harper, he goes 2 for 6. But there was an instance in the game. It wasn't at 6th when Bryson Stott tied it up. It was 2 men on. Alec Boehm at 2nd. JT Realmuto at 3rd. Bryce Harper, 1 out, 2 men on. A chance to, give the Phillies the lead, at least tie the ball game up. strikes out. I believe it was a 3-2 count, stares at a ball right down the middle of the plate. He was battling in the at-bat, but that is a situation for Bryce Harper where you cannot go down striking out. Bryce, the past few games, he's getting hits. That's not the issue. He is finding ways to get on base. I think he's, just going through the motions right now. He was red hot when he came back into the lineup from the Tommy John surgery, red hot. He was eventually going to come back down to earth a little bit. He wasn't going to be playing an MVP form the entire year, especially coming off of the Tommy John surgery. He's going to be fine. I think he's just going through the motions right now. He'll figure it out. He's definitely struggling against left-handed pitching, though. Look at his splits against lefties this year versus righties. It's really a wide gap. He's like above 380 against righties, and he's like below 150 against lefties this year. So he's clearly struggling against lefties. So definitely just something for him to work through and figure it out. But Bryce Harper, over the long run, he will be fine. I am not worried about him one bit. The dude's a robot. He's coming back early from Tommy John surgery, for Christ's sakes. So, yeah. It sucks to, at some points with runners on, he's not driving them home. But eventually, over the long course of the season, I think that will be better from Bryce Harper. When he gets, more healthy with that elbow, you're seeing him, throwing more. So he's eventually, without a doubt, going to be playing first base sometime soon. Whether that's after the All-Star break, after the trade deadline, or something like that in August, or I have no idea. But if he does go and play first base, that's definitely going to be a huge thing for this ball club in terms of, getting Kyle Schwarber out of the outfield and putting, him in the DH spot, getting some other guys some much-needed off time from the outfield, Nick Castellanos as well. So there's options there. There definitely is. Bryce Harper will be fine. JT Realmuto, he goes 1 for 3 with 2 walks in the game. Bryson Stott 1 for 4 with 2 RBI. Josh Harrison 1 for 2. Pinch hitting for Cody Clemens, who went 0 for 3. Brandon Marsh, he went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Christian Pache, he came in for Marsh later on in the ballgame. He goes 0 for 2 with a run scored. Edmundo Sosa, he goes 1 for 5. He also did make a huge catch. I believe it was in the bottom of the 11th inning. It was a foul ball, and the foul territory in Oakland is gigantic. Gigantic. We all know how terrible that ballpark is. The foul territory is enormous. Dude runs over to the A's dugout, does the splits, and finds a way to catch the ball. Barely, though. Barely, but it's a catch nonetheless. And I felt bad for him because, oh my god, that looked uncomfortable. That looked very uncomfortable, my goodness. But he made the catch. Most important thing there. Phillies win the ball game. 3-2 in extra innings. Most important thing there. For your bullpen, though, you basically used everybody. Jose Alvarado, but if you're looking from yesterday's ball game as well, you used Vasquez, the only guy out of the bullpen, because Taijuan Walker went 8 innings. So I would assume most of the back-end guys are going to be available. Maybe not Craig Kimbrell because he did throw 25 pitches, but I would assume Greg Soto is going to be available. Jose Alvarado is most likely going to be available. Those guys threw 14 and 9 pitches to each of them. Vasquez is definitely not going to be available. Hoffman most likely will be available. He only threw 6 pitches. Who else? Strom's definitely not going to be pitching back-to-back days. So you're definitely going to have to really rely on Zack Wheeler to go deep into the ballgame. And against this type of lineup against the Oakland Athletics, he should. But then again, he struggled against the Washington Nationals. Washington is a bad team, but they're not as bad as Oakland. So this really should be a start for Zack Wheeler to where he can possibly go 8 innings, like Taijuan Walker did. Who knows? Maybe he works around with a complete game. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go that far because I'm going to jinx everything. I'm not going to say that. Complete game or anything like that. Give me 7 strong innings. And if you end up going 8, it's the icing on the cake. Do everything you can to sweep this series. Because you win the series against the Diamondbacks. You already won this series. Why not go this road trip winning 5 out of 6? Actually, it's a 7-game road trip, so 6 out of 7. That'd be a fantastic road trip. Coming in back to Philadelphia to play the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets. The bad thing, though, is that you're not really gaining anything in the division just because the Braves keep winning, the Marlins keep winning. I don't understand how the Marlins keep winning because their run differential just doesn't add up, in my opinion, because they're in a negative run differential. because that shows me whatever they're doing, it's not sustainable. And maybe it's just because the beginning of their schedule, the first half is probably very easy. Maybe they're not facing the best of competition. Maybe as the schedule gets harder for them and they face tougher opponents, maybe they'll come back down to earth. And I'm definitely expecting that from the Miami Marlins. But I've been proven wrong before. I have. You still got to beat this Marlins team, though. Definitely have to. You proved that last year. Marlins are 40-31. They are 9 games above 500. They just find ways to win. They're 5 games behind the Atlanta Braves. That's just unreal to me. Is their run differential any better than it was the last time I saw? I need to see this. No, they still have a minus 26 run differential, and they're 9 games above 500. That doesn't add up. That does not add up. They're really good at home, but they're a borderline 500 team on the road. It does not add up to me. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Jesus. Like, well, what's not adding up here? I know that they're good in one-run ball games, so that's obvious from there. It just doesn't add up to me with the Miami Marlins. They got to eventually come back down to earth, right? You would think. I don't know. But looking at tomorrow's game, I believe the Athletics are going with a bullpen game the last time I saw. Yeah, they're going with Hogan Harris, who was a bullpen guy, but he's been more used as a starter. But according to ESPN, he's a back end of the bullpen type of guy. Or front end of the bullpen type of guy, long reliever or something like that. I have no idea. Last couple of outings, 7 innings against Tampa Bay, 2 strikeouts, 3 earned runs against Pittsburgh, 2 earned runs against Miami. So, he's got a 4.84 ERA. He's a lefty thrower. So another left-hander on the mound for the Oakland Athletics. Jeez, they have so many lefties in their pitching staff for some reason. I have no idea why. But they do. Got Zack Wheeler on the bump tomorrow. Get the job done. Had a solid performance in Arizona. Definitely could have been better from his standards. So I'm assuming he's going to come out here tomorrow, hopefully, and throw a gem. Especially you can do it against this Oakland team. You should be able to do it. Just looking at the rest of the standings here before we end it off. Really not much else to talk about. 1-2 games. Oakland Athletics. Win tomorrow, you sweep the series. And you come back home with a day off on Monday to eventually face the Atlanta Braves and the New York Mets. So, let's look at the rest of the standings. The Mets, they continue to lose games. They are 33-37. 3-7 in their last 10. Phillies are 37-34, 3 games above 500, so that's nice to see. They've won 5 series in a row, so that's nice to hear as well. Braves, obviously, like I said, are still in first place. NL Central, Milwaukee's in first place. The Reds have been playing very good baseball as of late. They've won 7 in a row. They're 36-35. Who knows? Maybe the Reds can take over that division. The West, Diamondbacks are still in first place. Dodgers in second, and so on and so forth. Look at the American League. Tampa Bay is still Tampa Bay in first in the East. Baltimore in second. Yankees in third. AL Central, still a terrible division. Minnesota in first place. AL West, Rangers are still controlling that. And yeah, that's basically it from there. That is it. What else happened today? Yeah, the Mets did lose to the Cardinals, so they're still losing ball games. Still struggling. So yeah, let's see. You won 2 games in this series. Already took it. Zack Wheeler on the bump tomorrow with a chance to sweep. Let's get that chance there. Let's find a way to do it. I'm confident in Zack Wheeler. I think the offense will be fine. They were due for a low-scoring game, and they still found a way to win it. Maybe they'll pop off tomorrow again. You never know. You never know. So, we just basically gotta wait and see. Chance to sweep tomorrow. We'll be back with another recap, and then we're off on Monday. So, let's see what happens. That's going to do it for tonight, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for joining, as always. So don't forget to leave those comments in the comment section down below. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description down below. Also, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Join the TTP Sports family. I would very much appreciate it. Also, use the code TTPSPORTS. $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thank you once again for joining tonight. Phillies won the series already in Oakland, but a chance to sweep tomorrow. I'll see you then, everybody.